Malapit na nga ang NBA playoffs at dahil dyan, nagkakapwestuhan na sa mga seedings sa Western at Eastern Conference. Ang top 4 seeds ng bawat conference ang may hawak ng home court advantage sa first round. Kaya naman matindi ang labanan para sa mga spots na yan. Sa East, may 4 na teams na nagkumpul-kumpul pa sa gitna ng standings. Ang Atlanta, Boston, Miami at Charlotte at dalawa lamang sa kanila ang makakuha ng 3rd at 4th seeds dahil halos sigurado na ang Cleveland at Toronto bilang top 2 teams sa Eastern Conference. For more on the race for the 3rd and 4th seeds in the East, kasama natin ang basketball blogger na si Nico Baguio. Nico, welcome back to The Score.
It's great
Thanks
to be back.
Thanks for joining
always.
us. Okay, we'll talk about Batman vs. Superman. Joke lang. Wag na, yung tears mo, hold it back. Okay, pag-usapan natin itong mas exciting na labanan. Battle for 3rd and 4th place. Sinilip na natin yung 4 na teams na to. Unahin natin yung comparison, syempre. First thing that people might think, yung remaining games nila, gaano kahirap or kadali yung kanilang mga schedule. Anong top of mind nakita mo? Who's got the easiest schedule? Who's got the hardest one?
Yeah, meron kasi silang tinatawag na strength of schedule. It's a way of calculating how difficult the schedule for a particular team has been.
Right, okay.
So, the higher the number, the more difficult their schedule has been.
Okay.
Lower, the easier their schedule has been.
Okay.
So, kung gusto mo malaman kung ano yung numerical or analytic na way of saying easiest schedule moving forward, titignan mo kung kanino yung pinakamataas doon.
Okay.
Highest one so far is Miami.
Okay.
They actually have 0.12, which means their enemies so far have been a little bit above average.
Okay.
And then after that, it's Charlotte, Atlanta, and then Boston yung pinakamadali.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So that everything comes into play there.
Everything comes to play.
Kung sinong kalaban mo na ano record nila, kung home or away.
Yeah, home and away, everything.
Okay, pero for those who aren't too deep in that, something they look at normally is the home and away schedule. No? Alala ko yung Charlotte, you were saying that they have 9 games to go, pero 6 dun on the road. Pero meron kang but. Sino yung mga kalaban nila? Yun ang tanong.
Ang ano kasi, when people look at standings, iba-iba yung tingin nila. Usually, they look at how many homes versus aways, how many easy or below 500 versus above 500. Ang tricky lang dyan is when you combine both. For example, Charlotte, they have 9 games remaining, I think, about 9 games. They have 6 games away from Charlotte and 3 at home.
So, if you look at that alone, parang hirap kasi 6 away games. And normally, you don't do so well away when you're at home.
And meron pang Cleveland and Toronto games doon.
Aray ko. Okay.
And it's not on the tail end. So, pero, yun nga, yung but ko is, yung 3 home games sila, they're against sure lottery teams. Brooklyn, Orlando, and Philadelphia.
Okay. So, they're still an NBA team?
Yeah, they're still an NBA team. Pero yun, siguro, in terms of just looking at it, not looking at it by the numbers, I think yung easiest one is Charlotte talaga.
For them.
And then Boston.
Okay.
And then after that, it's Atlanta and then Miami.
Okay, well, just so that everybody knows, right now we're talking about the standings. 3rd right now is Atlanta at 44 and 30. Boston is 4th at 43 and 30. And then you got Miami at 42 and 30. And then Charlotte 42-31. So they're just what? A game and a half apart from each other in total, no? From the highest one there, Atlanta and Charlotte. Okay, let's talk about them one by one, these teams, with regards to how they've been playing lately naman. Siyempre, factor din yan, na kahit na ano schedule mo, kung may mga injured pala, malas kayo lately, or things like that. Atlanta, 44 and 30, they're making a late run. In their last 10 games, they're 8 and 2. But everybody thought they'd be better than this, especially what they did last year. And they only lost DeMar Carroll, pero yung pala malaking bagay yung kawalan niya. Siguro yung dinagdag nila iba mga assets. So how do you see Atlanta so far?
Ang weird basahin ng Atlanta because right now they're more of a Jekyll and Hyde type of a team. You can see glimpses of what they did last year, the ball movement, the spacing, the pace. Pero some other days, parang wala.
It's just not there.
Dun mo nalalaman kung matatalo sila or they have a good chance of winning or losing. Kasi right now, they are the second best team, second only to San Antonio. They're allowing 101 points per 100.
This is on defense?
Yeah, this is on defense. Pero yung offense nila, unlike last year, it's no longer in the top 10. It's actually ranked 17. And doon mo makikita, if you look at their splits, most of their wins, maganda yung offense nila. And then pag hindi, maganda, doon pangit yung offense nila. So, I'm guessing, yung effect ni DeMar Carroll, it's not more than just yung subtraction, kundi yung pag-add. Kasi baka na-mess up yung chemistry.
Yun na nga eh, di ba?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not just about removing one key player.
Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
adding
the guys
two
you replace him with, di ba?
Yeah, they're
Sino
new to the
ngayon?
system.
Yeah, there's Tim Hardaway Jr.
Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tabo's back from Mike Scott's gone from what I know kasi nagka-problem siya attitude-wise.
So, interesting scenario there for Atlanta. But yet, they're still number 3. They're in there for a top 4 slot. Boston, now they were once number 3. They didn't even climb up to number 2.
Almost, parang 2 games behind.
Yeah. Okay, they're at 43 and 30. Still a surprising team with the young talent they have.
Yeah.
Great job by Brad Stevens there. Last 10 games, ang nakikita ko dito, they're 5 and 5. So sila, out of the 4, sila medyo hingalo in terms of the last 10 games. Anong nangyayari sa Boston ngayon?
Yung Boston kasi, if people must know, they were predicted to actually have a record of 50 wins, 32 losses.
Wow,
Yeah, and
okay.
it's not because they have one singular player that can carry them.
Obviously,
it's about
correct. It's a team.
yung
It's
fact
an effort,
na 5 players on the court are competent.
Right,
So yung kanila, hindi siya about superstar. It's about, they model more yung model na ginawa ng Atlanta.
Okay.
Although yung Atlanta meron kasi silang Al Horford,
Right,
who's parang quintessential player for them.
Right.
Pero sa kanila, wala talaga. I mean, people will point to Isaiah Thomas. Pero yun kasi offense lang yun.
Yeah.
So, pero in general, they have a lot of competent players. First 5 and backup 5. And although they're medyo erratic sila, they peak and then they slump.
Yep.
And I think people expect them to actually peak again. Kasi if you look at their games, puro mga winnable games.
Okay.
They only have 1 game against Golden State, which is their next game.
Okay.
And then yung next one, it's LA, my Pelicans.
Your Pelicans, yeah.
Milwaukee, and then yung tatlo nilang kalaban for the 3rd spot.
So
that's
winnable game.
Yeah,
so that's interesting to see if Boston can stay at 4 or even climb up to number 3. Okay, Miami's right there. They're at number 5. A very experienced team, a good culture, good coaching staff. Chris Bosh is a question mark, but yet they're making this run.
Yeah.
And how do you see Miami possibly climbing up to number 4 there?
Ako kasi, ang tingin ko sa Miami ngayon, they're more of a mirage than anything else.
Okay.
Kasi as good as their roster is, they have Goran Dragic, they have Wade, they have Deng, they have McRoberts back.
Whiteside's
they still have
playing
Whiteside
well.
there.
Yeah.
Winslow's playing well. Yung problem kasi is, kumbaga they haven't had that oomph they needed na parang at the beginning of the season they were practically pegged for the 2nd seed, 3rd seed.
Yeah, with
Na,
the lineup
kasi
they
with
had.
the lineup na Dragic,
Correct.
Wade.
Yes,
Although,
yes.
malaking kawalan si Bosh.
Yeah.
I don't think even nung nandun si Bosh, they had that oomph, that killer instinct.
Parang
na,
kulang eh, no?
Yeah,
You're
kulang.
expecting
And
more.
I think that's going to be the thing that prevents them from getting to 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
So, even if you look at their schedule, medyo mahirap din eh.
Right.
They have games against Warriors, Toronto too, so those, and Cleveland pa pala.
So, but still, they might be an interesting team in the playoffs because of their experience. So
Yeah,
we'll
the
see what
fact
happens
that,
to them.
and the fact that Wade's there.
Exactly. And Wade's healthy right
Yeah,
now.
Wade's healthy.
They've managed him
Practically balot na yung katawan, pero healthy.
Pwede ba? Okay, last but not the least on the list, the Charlotte Hornets. This is an interesting team with various different characters who've led them recently. Jeremy Lin has had a resurrection of late with Linsanity. Anong kaya pa ng Charlotte to try and snatch a home court advantage?
Yeah, yung kanila kasi, if you watch them, they're really, really, ang hirap nilang tumbukin kung ano sila. Yung sa iba kasi, it's easy eh. Atlanta is a defensive team.
Yep.
Miami is a defensive team.
Right.
Boston is both.
Yeah,
they're
they
a
do
good
both
offense,
well,
they're a
yeah,
good
both
defense.
well,
Just that, very erratic sila on both sides. Yung dalawang other teams kasi, they're consistent defensive. Charlotte, parang
Parang Hornet, ang hirap ganun eh.
hirap, di ba? Paalisin, di mo
What are they?
They're playing a lot of small ball. Kemba Walker and Jeremy Lin, they've played a lot of minutes together and nagko-4 pa si Batum or minsan yung lineup nila, yung one of their killer lineups is Walker, Lin, Batum, Marvin Williams, and Kaminsky or Cody Zeller. Basically, it's either a rim runner or another shooter.
Interesting.
So, ngayon, dati kasi they're known for their defense, diba? It was surprising that they were in the top 3 in defense for the past, I think, 2 seasons. Yung surprising thing ngayon, it's their offense that's carrying them. And it's because of Batum. Yun nga, yung time na tinanong...
Laking bagay yung kuha sa kanya.
Yeah, nung nag-interview ako about All-Star, siya yung pick ko actually, diba? Dun sa ano.
Yes,
and
I remember.
Even now, siya pa rin ang vote ko kasi he's been playing so well.
Yep.
Pero ang problem ko is, like Miami, they don't have that oomph.
Yun na nga.
Parang kulang yung, wala silang sixth gear or fifth gear and higher. Unlike Miami, unlike Boston, and Atlanta.
Sa depth nila, meron, may baon
Boston kasi, parang pwedeng starting 5, dikit sila. And then pagka-bench, boom.
Lalaban.
Atlanta naman, pag nag-click yung offense sila, when their ball movement is there, they're going to be like the Atlanta we knew from last season. So, yung Charlotte, wala din sila nung ganun. Wala sila nung parang killer instinct na they lost to, they won against the Spurs, and then they lost against like a mediocre team, and then parang ganun sila, very high, or at least
highs and
high highs, low lows.
Weird lows.
Yeah.
Well, they are 7-3 in the last 10 games, so we'll see how far that Kemba Walker, Jeremy Lin-led team can go, and it will make the run to the playoffs even more exciting. 2 weeks ago, so all
about
the more.
10 games.
And then the other dynamic there, of course, is the weirdness of some teams resting star players. You'll never know kung sino nagpapahinga na for the playoff run. All right, Nico Baguio, maraming salamat. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score, and don't forget to subscribe.